Notan squares. Notan is the term used by the Japanese to express the principle of dark and light as an element of design. This concept illustrates the interaction of positive and negative space, emphasizing that one cannot exist without the other. You'll find that some Notan squares are fairly basic, while others are a little bit more complex. And then you have those extreme ones. However, no matter how basic or intricate these Notan squares are, they all share some things in common. The first thing that all Notan squares share is symmetry. Symmetry is having one side that exactly mirrors the other, just as you can see here with butterfly wings. If we were to cut the butterfly in half vertically, you would have the left side mirroring the right side. The dotted line is called our line of symmetry, and that's what establishes your left side versus your right side. Here in the picture of the owl, the blue line is your line of symmetry. With traditional Notan squares, you actually have 4 lines of symmetry, one on each side of the square. Can you find them? The other thing that all Notan squares share is space. Space is one of our elements of art, and it can be defined as an area or distance between, around, or within an item. With space, we actually have 2 different types. There's positive space and negative space. Positive space is a space filled by the main item in a work of art. The white area in the image here shows the positive space, whereas negative space is made up of the spaces around the positive space. The black area in this image indicates the negative space. On the left side of this image, we have a black cat, which is our positive space. The white area around the cat is considered our negative space. On the right side of this picture, we have a white cat, which is our positive space, and the black area around it is our negative space. It doesn't matter what the color is, as long as it's the object, it's the positive space. If it's the area around the object, it's your negative space. Now that we know a little bit more about Notan squares, let's see if we can figure out how to make our own. Looking at this example, you can see how the artist started with a square. In this case, it was a black square, as indicated by the yellow line. From here, the artist began to cut out some shapes. As you can see, they cut one shape from each edge of the 4-sided square. The red lines indicate the line on which he cut. When the artist cut out these lines, you'll notice that they started and ended on the same edge of the square. Those edges then become your lines of symmetry. Once the shapes were cut out, the artist took each of the 4 shapes and flipped them over the lines of symmetry to create a full image. In this case, they created 4 hearts. Now it's your turn to practice this idea of a Notan square. Feel free to make an image of a specific item, or just have fun with it. Start cutting out shapes and flipping them over your lines of symmetry to create a really interesting Notan square. You can keep it basic for now. Just remember, you want to start on one edge of your square, as indicated by the star, cut out your shape, and make sure that you land or end on the same edge of the square. Once you have all of your shapes cut out, you're going to be flipping them over to create your symmetry. If you want to get fancier with your Notan square, see if you can figure these double cuts out. It's basically the same thing that you started with, where you cut out a shape from each side, but then you are going to take that shape, flip it over, and cut out a shape within the shape, and then flip that new shape over again. It sounds tricky, but try it out. I'm sure you'll get it.